I'm going to make a massive assumption here and say that what you want more than anything else in this world is to be rich. Now, some of you will disagree with me because you think you want more than that, but believe me when I tell you that at some point in your life, being rich was the one thing that mattered. For example, if you were applying for a job and there were two candidates, one with experience and qualifications and one without, who do you think will get hired? If you said yourself, then you were wrong. They will pick the person with the experience and qualifications every single time because that is the logical, rational choice. Now, some of you might be thinking, what about passion or drive or hunger? But let me ask you this. Would those things pay the bills? No. And that is why they will choose the person with experience and qualifications. So at some point, money was important to you. In fact, it's so important that you have spent years trying to make it. It's something that has consumed your mind, if you're honest with yourself. You will admit that there hasn't been a single day in your life where you haven't thought about money. And that is why today, I'm going to share with you 7 shocking things that will make you rich. Number 1, stop shopping and start saving. This is an obvious one. In order to get rich, you need to stop spending all of your money and start putting it away. And I know this sounds boring, but trust me when I say that this is the only way to become wealthy. There are thousands of people out there earning 6 figures and 7 figures every year, but they live paycheck to paycheck. This is because their lifestyle inflation has gone through the roof. Now, even though they earn a lot of money, it doesn't mean that they're rich. The only way to get rich is by saving as much as possible. Think about the richest people that you know. Do you know anyone who spends all of their money? Of course not. They save hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars each and every year. This is how they got rich. So if you want to become rich, too, then you need to learn how to save money. Start cutting back on unnecessary expenses and put that money into savings. This is the first step towards getting rich. Number 2, buy assets that make you money. When you hear the word investing, what do you think of? Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, maybe even real estate. All of these are considered investments. Most people do and realize that there is one type of investment that is better than all of the rest, and that is buying assets that make you money. So let me explain. When you buy a stock, you are investing in a company. When you buy a bond, you are lending money to a government or a corporation. And when you buy a mutual fund, you are investing in a basket of securities. All of these investments can potentially make you money, but there is no guarantee. On the other hand, when you buy assets that make you money, you are guaranteed to make money. This is because these assets produce cash flow. For example, if you buy a rental property, you will receive rent payments from your tenants. Or if you buy a business, you will receive profits from that business. This is the difference between investing and buying assets that make you money. And if you want to get rich, then you need to focus on the latter. Number 3, take calculated risks. I'm sure you've heard the phrase, nothing ventured, nothing gained. This is especially true when it comes to getting rich. If you want to be rich, you have to take risks. But the key word here is calculated. This means that you need to take risks that are well thought out and not just reckless. For example, let's say you're thinking about starting a business. This is a risk because there is no guarantee that it will be successful. However, if you do your research, create a solid business plan, and execute it well, then your chances of success will be much higher. This is a calculated risk. On the other hand, let's say you decide to invest all of your money into a startup company that you know nothing about. This is a reckless risk because you are investing in something that you don't understand. This is not a calculated risk. So if you want to get rich, you have to be willing to take risks, but they must be calculated risks. 4, don't keep up with the Joneses. This is a phrase that we hear all the time, but most people don't realize how important it is. The Joneses are your neighbors, friends, or colleagues who always seem to have something that you want. They drive a nicer car, live in a bigger house, and always seem to be on vacation. This is called keeping up with the Joneses, and it's something that you should avoid at all costs. Why? Because it will keep you broke. Think about it. If you're constantly trying to one-up your neighbor, then you'll be spending all of your money on things that you don't need. This will leave you with little or no money left over to save or invest. And if you want to get rich, then you need to save and invest your money. So do everything you can to avoid keeping up with the Joneses. Number 5, invest in yourself. One of the best investments you can make is in yourself. This could mean taking courses to improve your skills or knowledge, or it could mean hiring a coach or consultant to help you in your personal or professional life. Investing in yourself is one of the best ways to increase your value, which is what will ultimately make you rich. Let's take a look at some of the richest people in the world. Do you know what they all have in common? They have invested in themselves. For example, Bill Gates has said that he has spent tens of millions of dollars on himself through coaching and consulting. Warren Buffett has also said that he has spent millions on himself by hiring experts to help him in his investing. So if you want to get rich, then you need to follow suit and invest in yourself. Number 6, learn how to manage your money. Most people think that they know how to manage their money, but in reality, they are doing it all wrong. That is why they will never get rich. If you want to become rich, then you need to learn how to manage your money properly. And this starts with creating a budget. A budget will help you track your income and expenses so you know where your money is going. It will also help you identify areas where you can cut back and save more money. Another important aspect of money management is learning how to negotiate. This is important in all areas of your life, whether it's negotiating a salary at work or negotiating the price of a car. If you can negotiate effectively, you will save a lot of money. So if you want to get rich, then you need to learn how to manage your money properly. Start by creating a budget and then learning how to negotiate. Number 7, the cheaper your pleasure, the richer you will be. This is a principle that has been around for centuries, and it's a simple one. Basically, the less expensive your pleasures are, the more money you will have left over to save and invest. And that is how you will eventually become rich. For example, let's say you go out to dinner once a week. If you go to an expensive restaurant, you might spend $100, but if you go to a cheaper restaurant, you might only spend $20. That might not seem like a big difference, but it adds up over time. $1.80 a month, that's $960 a year. Imagine what you could do with an extra $960 a year. You could save it, invest it, or use it to start a business. All of these things will eventually make you rich. If you want to get rich, remember this principle. The cheaper your pleasures are, the richer you will be. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button.